this number one on the list.
Bring all to it. Thank you, Jeff. Hopefully, I won't need it. Be out of here quick.
Not as clear as you can.
Let me ask you a question though.
No, what happened is I had signed some papers
You know, I'm always
and it
helping that.
just drained.
They're really saying things in the right way. Corey wasn't here. They didn't say anything. That didn't. Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's a statement. In fact, I didn't say I just said we did. Is a right of way. We're using the easement. Solution.
Oh, yeah.
They're blowing their leaves in there.
How y'all doing this afternoon?
Councilman Jackson.
Like that jacket.
Yes, Councilwoman Taylor.
You come on back here.
Councilwoman Taylor, you understand, right?
Now we're just gonna prove that's not false.
Don't act like that. Now you see how they trying to shun me? I mean, just don't even make sense.
Never mind, no, we're done.
Sorry? It's called John Erica Otis. Her studio is like on Second Street. Oh, good. I'll let her know. Okay, I'll do that next week.
It was one of them. They got around us. Well, the council is here, such and such. We said, this is what we bust. We had it. We said, well, we don't allow it. They said, what? They said, listen. We need to do this and when we say we in a lawsuit, it was like out of air. We said we didn't we just couldn't get the food. I said
wanted a Coke. Way too long.
The meeting of Shreveport City Council is now called to order. I will ask Pastor Dennis if he can lead us in the prayer. And I will ask Councilman Talaferro to lead us in the pledge.
Would you bow your heads? Our Father in heaven, we thank you again for this day, for your love and your kindness, for your goodness and your mercy. Thank you for this Shreveport City Council. And we thank you, O God, for all of the government affairs that will take place on this day. I pray that you would govern and guard their hearts and their minds as we seek to do what pleases you. It's in Jesus' name that we pray. Amen.
Amen. All face the flag of the greatest country on earth. As we say our pledge, let us be mindful of the sacrifices of our POWs and MIAs. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Councilwoman Taylor.
Present.
Councilman Brooks.
Here.
Councilman Talaferro.
Here, ma'am.
Councilman Butcher.
Here.
Councilman Jackson.
I'm here.
Councilman Green.
I'm here.
And Councilwoman Bowman.
Present.
Before we approve the minutes, I want to acknowledge all the Saints fans in the building today.
Child, please. They not here.
Now back to city business. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the special meeting and administrative conference Monday, August 26, 2024, and the city council meeting Tuesday, August 27, 2024?
So moved.
Second.
Has been moved by Councilman Talaferro, second by Councilwoman Bowman. Are there any discussions? If not, let's vote.
That passes with 7.
Does any council members have any awards, recognition, or distinguished guests not to exceed 15 minutes?
I do, Mr. Chair.
Councilwoman Taylor?
I ask Mr. Garcia to please come up front, please. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for coming to the City Council meeting. As you all know, September is Hispanic Heritage Month. And Mr. Garcia is going to tell us about a few events that will be going on within our region.
Absolutely. So thank you very much for the invitation, Ms.
You're welcome.
Taylor. And thank you, everybody, for your audience today. My name is Brian Garcia, and I work with 318 Latino and the Hispanic Heritage Association of Northwest Louisiana, which is a nonprofit corporation here in the Shreveport area that is built to empower the Latino community. Coming up in September, we have a very important event, which I would like to invite each and every one of you, which is a seminar on tapping and seizing the Latino community. If you're interested in what our organization and what our community can do for you and how you can reach the Latino and the Hispanic community, I implore each and every one of you to please assist this event. It is a ticketed event, but I am going to give you guys free tickets to attend. This is going to be an event where we have the president of the Louisiana Chamber of Commerce, the Hispanic Louisiana Chamber of Commerce, the former president of LULAC, which is one of the largest Latino organizations of the nation, and among other panelists. On September 28th, we have a Hispanic Information Fair that is going to be free to attend and have free booths. On October 5th, we have the Day of the Dead in collaboration with the Red River Rebel. We have November 16th, the largest Latino event in the year in the region, which is the Latino Day at the State Fair of Louisiana. Several years ago, the State Fair of Louisiana realized how much the population was growing, and they decided to give or dedicate a whole day to the Latino community. That has grown to be the biggest and most profitable day for the State Fair of Louisiana, just so you can see the power, the purchasing power of the Latino community here in Shreveport. On October 12th, I'll back up a little bit, on October 12th, we have Noche de Gala, which is an award ceremony for outstanding individuals who are doing great things within our community, entrepreneurs, Businesswoman of the Year, Lifetime Achievement Award. We're going to be recognizing people who are doing wonderful things in our community, and I invite each and every one of y'all to come in. So if you guys have any questions about what the Latino community is about, who we are, you do know it's the largest demographic growing not only in Louisiana, but in the nation. So I would love to be your personal assistant in any of that. That's what we got going on. You're invited to everything. Please let me know if you need any more information.
Thank you so much.
I'll be handing these out.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
So council, today, I'm gladly would like to say I am a Cowboy fan today. And tonight we're going to be recognizing the only Cowboy team that I recognize, and that is the Southwood Cowboys. So if Representative Southwood can come on down, and Tanya, if you can read Resolution 138.
A resolution recognizing the 54th Annual Homecoming Week celebration of Southwood High School. Whereas Southwood High School, established in 1970, is known as the Ranch, home of the Cowboys and the Guinness Book of World Records largest pep squad. Whereas Betty Jordan is the current principal with a roster of 900 students. Faculty and staff consist of 120 teachers, classified employees, and 6 administrators. Whereas she encourages all Southwood to leave their brand at Southwood and continue to make the Ranch a school that develops and fosters winners in the community, state, and beyond. Whereas September 19, 2024, Southwood High School's 54th homecoming presents a time to remember, starting with their annual homecoming parade, worship service at Bright Star Baptist Church, the homecoming game at Independence Stadium, and concluding with the homecoming dance. Whereas Southwood is encouraging all students, parents, faculty, staff, and alumni, and especially the community, to join them September 14th through the 21st, 2024, at 9000 Walker Road, Shreveport, Louisiana, in celebrating their homecoming. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Shreveport, in due regular and legal session convened, that the Shreveport City Council recognizes the 54th Annual Homecoming Week celebration of Southwood High School.
So much. Thank you so much, Chairman and Jackson and Mayor and all of the City Council. We appreciate you, and in the same sentiments as Chairman Jackson, go Cowboys, but Southwood Cowboys. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Pastor. The question was posed, why Southwood, why homecoming? We all have schools in our district. Everybody has a homecoming. And I'm always an advocate for giving recognition to anything that's positive that we got going on to our city. So I know this university, thinking I'm at work. I know the institution reached out to me, but I do want to just say for the record that, anything that's positive going on in the city, we want to try to highlight those things. We have so many outlets that's always going to highlight our negative anytime things going wrong. So when we have positive stuff that's coming up, including homecoming, we want to do our best to highlight those things. I love the way the resolution was written, a time to remember, a time to come back, a time to come home. So we always want to highlight the things that we're doing well. So I appreciate this, and I'm honored to issue this resolution.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
And again, I appreciate you all. As you all may know, Southwood in recent years have had a lot of bad news and a lot of bad publicity. But since Ms. Betty Jordan, our principal, has been there, and since her current staff has been there and supportive, myself included, as administrative assistant and disciplinarian for freshman class, we are changing the narrative.
That's good.
And we want to continue to speak positive things over Southwood and the Southwood community.
Pastor Witt, I'd also like to say congratulations, and like to say keep up the good work. I'm a supporter of Southwood. In fact, all my grandchildren go there. Yes, so that's the only Cowboy that I'll be. But
you know what, y'all gonna stop with these Cowboys.
Keep up the good work. Tell Ms. Jordan I said hello. God
sure
bless
will.
you.
Apparently, y'all children want to be a Cowboy at Southwood. Okay, Petty.
I'm just saying.
I
don't mean no
be Cowboys. They already started off.
I don't mean no harm.
They got the gear.
I mean, no harm.
Gary, you just be quiet.
You just
over there.
said that because New England won. New England won one game.
Vice Chair Green, recognition?
I had 4, but I'm gonna wait and do them later.
Okay. They're getting ready for the game. Are there any other recognitions?
I do want us to make sure that we keep our family and friends and our neighbors in South Louisiana in our prayers in lieu of the storm that is approaching. I did read, Mr. Mayor, that we're on standby for possible evacuees coming into the area. So in lieu of Tropical Storm Francine, is keep all of our neighbors from there in Mississippi in our prayers, please.
Thank you. Are there any other awards or recognition of distinguished guests not to exceed 15 minutes for any council member? Mr. Mayor, do you have any awards recognition of distinguished guests not to exceed 15 minutes?
I do not.
Do you have any communications relative to city business?
In relation to what Ms. Taylor recently said, we have a contingent from our fire department that has been called down to be on ready alert swift water rescue in connection with possible needs from Hurricane Francine.
Okay. Thank you.
And that's all I have.
Thank you. Reports. Does any member have any concerns relative to property standards from Mr. Green?
You ain't said Shay up here.
Thank you for the update on Lakeshore Drive.
You're welcome. Thank you for removing the rotten food or getting it done. All right.
And thank you for tearing down that house.
Thank you, Mr. Green.
All right.
Everyone should have received the revenue collection plan and invitation report. Public hearing, there are none. Madam Clerk, will there be any legislation added to the agenda today?
No, sir.
Today, we will have public comments on agenda items only. Vice Chair, do we have any requests to speak?
Yes, sir. Mr. Sammy Mears. Sammy, thank you for coming. You have 3 minutes.
All right. Sammy Mears, 1133 South Point Parkway, apartment 111, Shreveport 71105. Today I'm speaking on resolutions 9A128 and 9A138. I think that these are both resolutions that are wonderful ideas. Please vote yes on Patrick Young as he's to make the connection to the Shreveport Water and Sewerage connection. He's at 9516 Wallace Lake Road. It would be very much appreciated if you do this. And also vote yes on recognizing the 54th Annual Homecoming Week celebration of Southwood High School, and they will be appreciated for that too. They may do cheers, they may jump up and down with joy, they might even do cartwheels or make a pyramid. I don't know, but it could happen, and if it does, I'd like to be kind of wanting to know about it. I don't know them, they don't know me, but it's okay, and all I ask is for a vote of yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Miss April Dunn. Ms. Dunn, thank you for coming. You have 3 minutes.
Thank you. April Dom, 711 Rutherford Street, Highland Neighborhood Association. As I discussed yesterday, we do have several concerns, including, the lack of proper notification on behalf of the MPC to key stakeholders and neighbors to the proposed Mid-City Hotel rezoning, incomplete NPP documentation, omission of key issues and recommendations from the initial NPP. This was critical for the MPC staff report, and we just don't feel that the board was able to make a clear decision based on facts that were not included in the report. The applicant did have a general presentation of what the program looks like, but we feel that several of the MPC's approval standards were not followed. Approval standard 1, the compatibility of the existing use and zoning of nearby property. The rezoning request is being compared to the west side of Lyon Avenue, where historic properties were replaced by institutional uses in the 1970s. Rezoning proposal may disrupt the neighborhood's current character, which is more residential and less institutional. Many of the current businesses are housed in historic businesses, which help maintain, historic buildings, which help maintain the neighbor's character. Approved Standard 2, the extent to which the proposed amendment promotes the public health, safety, and welfare. The applicant has failed to provide sufficient details about the proposed program, including crucial information on bed numbers, residential management, background checks, and program effectiveness. This lack of transparency raises serious questions about whether the project will genuinely enhance public health, safety, and welfare, and about the applicant's capability to manage such a program effectively. Approval Standard 6, the trend of development, if any, in the general area of property in question. The east side of Lyon Avenue maintains a residential atmosphere with mixed-use buildings, which as the Mid-City Hotel currently is. The proposed rezoning could disrupt the ongoing revitalizing efforts and negatively impact the neighborhood's character. The Highland Neighborhood Association, in collaboration with Revitalize Historic Highland, is committed to revitalizing the area. The initiative is crucial for restoring Highland to its vibrant state, and the proposed zoning may impede these efforts. We are advocating for balance and transparency. We are advocating for businesses that work well with the neighborhood. We ask that the MPC and the City Council recognize their assistance with our revitalization efforts, as that is so critical to those efforts. You may have received a Form 318 where the efforts of the Neighborhood Association along with Revitalize Historic Highland are discussed in that article. You can see there's genuine care and concern for our neighborhood.
Thank you. Ms. Charlotte Russell. Ms. Russell, thank you for coming. You have 3 minutes.
Thank you. Charlotte Russell, 533 Jordan Street, Shreveport. So I'm here to speak about the Mid-City zoning issue that is on your agenda today. As a real estate professional and a neighbor, the more I look at this, I'm increasingly concerned that this zoning change may be related to the marketability of the property, which is currently listed for sale, rather than to actually improve the neighborhood. So following yesterday's comments, there was a suggestion of an amendment to the zoning change application, which has just been brought to me again, that if the applicant is approved today, he will take it back to the MPC and only change one address rather than all 3 addresses. I really request that you consider the concerns of the neighbors when you're making this decision. We have many concerns, it being a non-conforming use. It's supposed to be a commercial property, not an institutional campus, according to the master plan. So this zoning change would prevent any private residential use. It would all be residential program housing. And we would ask that with any change, you require the same due diligence that other institutional campus applicants are required: site plans, business plans, just information about what's happening with this property. We also ask that if there's any revision to the application, that you would delay your decision in order to allow the neighborhood to review that again, rather than approve it and we don't really know what's actually going to happen after that. So, thank you very much.
Mr. Curtis Joseph. Mr. Joseph, thank you for coming. You have 3 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Mr. Vice Chair. Curtis Joseph appearing on behalf and with Lexmark Plaza LLC. Josh Rapps is here with me. I submitted the card. Basically, I want to introduce Mr. Rapps when the matter came before you guys to vote, but I'll just be very brief as regards some of the comments that I've heard today. We've been more than transparent. We've held not one but 2 separate neighborhood participation program meetings. Mr. Brooks attended one that went for several hours. Even after the MPC had considered this matter, the board considered it and voted, I believe, 7-1. The staff highly recommended this particular zoning use. We consulted with the staff prior to taking this through these paces, and they recommended this particular zoning for the use. We feel that it is consistent with those recommendations and as viewed by the board. As Ms. Charlotte indicated, in good faith, we've advised, I believe I advised Mr. Brooks, that should this board, this council agree with the MPC prior ruling, we're willing to take the other 2 addresses. There are 4 parcels, but 3 municipal addresses. We're willing to take two of the addresses out and have them remain at the current zoning and moving forward with the one zoning request change that we're asking for. Mr. Raps is here. He's very steeped in information regarding the particular use, and he can answer any questions that you guys have. As Mr. Brooks may have communicated to y'all, he's very versed. He's answered every question. There were not softball questions that were lobbed at him, and he stood and answered them, and he can do the same before this body today. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, that concludes public speaking.
We will have the following executive appointments. We'll take them separate. First, we'll have Edward Taylor, Downtown Development Authority.
Motion to postpone.
Second.
Has been motion to postpone by Councilman Brooks, second by Councilwoman Bowman. Discussion?
I have one comment. The DDA is nearing the end of their search for an executive director. I think they're going to vote on it this Friday. Mr. Taylor has not been a part of that process, so I would prefer to wait 2 weeks to vote on him to be on the board, since I don't believe he would be able to vote for the director this Friday anyway. So I'm not opposed to Mr. Taylor. I'm supporting him, but I just would prefer to put it on for 2 weeks.
Any other comments? Let's vote.
That passed with 7 to postpone.
We have James Britt, Senior Construction Manager, Department of Public Works. Department of Public Works to consider.
Did we ever interview Mr. Britt?
Do we have a motion? Has been moved by Councilman Brooks.
Second.
Second by Councilman Butcher. Any discussion? Let's vote.
That passes with 7.
There are no items on the consent agenda or introduction are to be adopted. Ms. White, would you please proceed with regular agenda legislation?
Yes, sir. Resolution 128, authorizing Patrick R. Young at 9516 Wallace Lake Road to make a connection to the City of Shreveport's water and sewer system.
Move to postpone.
Second.
It's been motioned to postpone by Councilman Butcher, second by Councilwoman Taylor. Any discussion? Let's vote.
That passed with 7 to postpone.
Resolution 132, authorizing the mayor of the City of Shreveport to sign an approval of the assignment by Cypress Energy Partners, LLC, of 3 oil and gas leases to Paloma Natural Gas, LLC.
So moved. Been moved by the chair, second by Councilwoman Bowman. Any discussion? Let's vote.
That passes with 7.
Resolution 133, authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with the Louisiana Department of Transportation and Development, obligating the city to pay 10% of construction costs and assume all legal liability for all maintenance and operating costs of the subject lighting system I-20 at Greenwood Road, US 80, and Lakeshore Drive interchanges.
Second.
Been moved by Councilwoman Bowman, second by Councilwoman Taylor. Any discussion? Let's vote.
That passes with 7.
Resolution 134, authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with the Louisiana Department of Transportation and Development, obligating the city to pay 10% of construction costs and assume all legal liability for all maintenance and operating costs of the subject lighting system I-20 from Sam R. Fertitta Drive to Red River.
So moved.
Been moved by Councilwoman Taylor, second by Councilwoman Bowman. Any discussion? Let's vote.
That passes with 7.
Resolution 135, authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with the Louisiana Department of Transportation and Development, obligating the city to pay 10% of construction costs and assume all legal liability for all maintenance and operating costs of subject lighting system I-49 at Southern Loop Interchange.
So moved.
Been moved by Councilman Butcher, second by Councilwoman Bowman. Any discussion? Let's vote.
That passes with 7.
Resolution 136, authorizing the mayor to enter into a CEA with Progressive Construction Company.
So moved.
Been moved by Councilman Butcher, second by Councilman Brooks. Any discussion? Let's vote.
That passes with 7.
Resolution 137, a resolution providing for canvassing the returns and declaring the results of a special election held in the city of Shreveport, state of Louisiana on Saturday, April 27, 2024, to authorize the incurring of debt and issuance of bonds and the levy of special taxes.
So moved.
Been moved by Councilman Butcher, second by Councilwoman Bowman. Any discussion? Let's vote.
It passes with 7.
Resolution 138, recognizing the 54th Annual Homecoming Week celebration of Southwood High School.
So moved. Been moved by the chair, second by Councilwoman Bowman. Any discussion? Let's vote. We have no item.
It passes with 7.
We have no items under introduction of resolution. Ms. White, would you please proceed with introduction of ordinance not to be adopted prior to September 24,
Yes,
2024?
Yes. Ordinance 107, amending the 2024 capital improvement budget. Ordinance 108, amending the 2024 budget for the general fund to provide funding for the Sportrans capital project. Ordinance 109, amending the 2024 budget for contractual service provided to Sportran by Metro Management Associates. Ordinance 110 to amend Chapter 14 of the Shreveport Code of Ordinances relative to owner and dealer responsibilities and animal control. Ordinance 111, an ordinance providing for the incurring of debt and the issuance and sale of not exceeding $88 million of general obligation bonds, Series 2024 of the City of Shreveport, State of Louisiana, prescribing the form, terms, and conditions of said bonds, designating the date, denominations, and place of payment of said bonds, providing for the payment thereof in principal and interest, and providing for other matters in connection therein.
So move for introduction.
Been moved by Councilwoman Taylor, second by Councilwoman Bowman. These ordinances have been introduced. Ms. White, please proceed with ordinance on second reading and final passage.
Yes, sir. Ordinance 40, an ordinance authorizing the lease of portions of Stage Works of Louisiana, a city-owned property, to G-Unit Film and Television, Louisiana. And I think it's
Motion to postpone.
Second.
Been motion to postpone by the chair, second by Councilwoman Taylor. Any discussion? Let's vote.
That passes with 7.
Ordinance 70, to amend Chapter 38 of the Shreveport Code of Ordinances relative to vacant structures.
Motion to postpone.
Second.
Been motion by the chair to postpone, second by Councilwoman Taylor. Any discussion? Let's vote.
That passes with 7.
Ordinance 87, zoning case number 24-95-C, an ordinance to amend the official zoning map of the City of Shreveport Unified Development Code by rezoning property located southeast corner of Line Avenue and Jordan Street from C-UC Urban Corridor Zoning District to IC Institutional Campus Zoning District.
Has been motioned by Councilman Brooks to postpone, second by Councilman Talaferro. Discussion.
Mr. Chairman, I do have a question. The alternative that the property owner presented earlier about if we voted on this today and it passed, that they would come back and remove the other 2 addresses from the zoning change and leave them the way that they are currently. Could I, Mr. Edwards, could you come up for a minute?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. So if we passed it and then they agreed to remove that earlier, if they agreed to that on the record today, is that binding to them?
No.
It is
no,
not.
sir. It's not legally binding to them. You would be taking them at their word for it.
Okay.
The only thing that would be binding would be what was passed by the MPC and approved by this council.
So I have 2 options. The other is to remand it back to the MPC with specific instructions to remove the other 2 addresses and to address possibly some sunset zoning. I'm a little bit torn. I can't call for a vote to approve it based on what you just said, because then they wouldn't have, they could do whatever they wanted at that, after we approved it, correct?
That would be correct.
Mr. Clark, would you come up for a minute? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So the MPC board, they approved this zoning change 7-1, is that correct?
I think it was 5-1, but they
5-1,
approved it.
okay. At the second meeting that we held, it was very well attended. The representatives of the property were there. I did think that they answered most of the questions pretty well. Most of the, I guess, anger, for lack of a better term, was at the MPC. The neighborhood did not feel like they were properly notified or had their input, their say on this particular property. So I don't want to punish the property owner, but I do believe that Highland Neighborhood Association and Ms. Dom, I think they would need more, they would like some further explanation from the property owner. So I don't know whether just to postpone it and let you guys meet on your own or to remand it back to the MPC with special instructions about the zoning.
I would suggest, for whatever it's worth, if you remand it back to the MPC, we could increase the notification area so more persons could attend if they're so inclined to do another PPP meeting.
I don't know that the property owner is inclined to do another neighborhood participation meeting. Are you willing to speak on that, Mr. Joseph?
Are you through with me?
Yes, Josh, you'd be fine.
Hi, Josh Raps, 150 Airport Road in Lakewood, New Jersey, 08701. Just for a brief moment, I just want to tell you about, like, again, I work for the Cedar Health Group, which in 2019 bought Promise Hospital, 2 locations in LTAC in Shreveport and Bossier City. Without belaboring it, I mean, since then, they have invested in opening up an inpatient psychiatric unit, outpatient behavioral health, all different levels for mental health, different levels of care, doing a substance abuse outpatient program, which is actually being done on this property. Opened, acute inpatient, 2 acute rehab locations. Opened another 2 LTAC locations in Wilson Knighton. You might be familiar in Wilson Knighton Piermont and Wilson Knighton North. And then I don't know, I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago that they had bought the Mid-City Hotel and both of that properties there. And we're primarily a healthcare organization. And so the idea was at this point, I mean, it had been mentioned about a sale listen, there's a lot of office space there that is not occupied. We are a healthcare organization. That's what we know. We have downstairs, we have outpatient substance abuse program. We have the inpatient, which is like a block and a half away. That's where the LTAC is. And so the idea was that, and even in the neighborhood meeting that we had, after the original one, in order to extend it, there was some frustration with seemingly the MPC, the notification, and we said, we'll do a voluntary one to have just to meet and to discuss it. And we had that go out, I think, maybe like a farther out radius just to have that discussion. It was that a lot of different frustrations come up about what is actually currently going on in the area there. I mean, it was, a landmark, the Mid-City Hotel, many, many years ago, but where it's at now, has been suggested to make a hotel there. I mean, I don't know that that's the, it's not set up for a hotel anymore in the 2024. So it's a lot of, again, it's set up like that. Everything that we did basically just to change it, to attempt to do this, to create a low-intensity residential treatment program, to, in a sense, invest and really provide treatment for people in the area, to be able to actually, there are things people are saying on the bus stop, all around there, things are going on, to actually, I would say, help. And that's what we know as healthcare people. Like to that point that was brought up about, we went to the MPC and said, you tell us exactly what the process is, what we need to do. It's essentially, they're not connected, but essentially like one complex, 3 buildings, which is why I'm assuming that's why the MPC had said to put it together. But we actually only need, I know something is taking me on my word, but I mean, we don't need the other parts of it in order for this to be done. Like, honestly, I would go with, my lawyer, right afterwards and submit the paperwork for it. It was done by the MPC just gave us the information. This is what you do, and this is what we followed. But honestly, if you've seen the plan, I mean, in the neighborhood association, I don't remember if it was showed or not, the way the buildings are set up, it's one building that's actually needed. The only reason they're included in there is because we just, followed, let's say, what we understood to be, but it's utterly not necessary. It's not connected to anything that we're doing there. So, I mean, I don't know how to, obviously, it's true. Technically, we can do whatever we want. That is also, of course, that's true, but I don't know how to convince you that that's, I think in the good faith that we had an extra meeting, I mean, I hope that we, ended off, with an understanding of what we intend to do. I guess if you have any questions, honestly, there's nothing, we have nothing invested actually in keeping those other buildings. We worked with, I think, with MPC in between then, we discussed it at the neighborhood meeting to try and take them out. I don't know, again, regulatory, the way these things work, if it can be done, but it's not a, if you have any questions, you can ask me.
That's Councilwoman Taylor and then Councilwoman Bowman.
My question is, what is the facility? What is it that you are proposing to do? I've heard, is it a substance abuse inpatient facility?
So yes, it's actually, it's the lower level. There's basically, let's say if somebody needs to be detoxed, so this is not what, that's not what this is.
Okay.
This is actually the lowest level. Somebody goes to, let's say, a regular detoxification facility. They're there for, let's say, a month or a little more. This is afterwards where they're detoxed and they have been in an intense program for a while. This is more really when they're more, let's call it transitioning. They already have been moved.
It's like a bridge program?
Yeah, put it this way, it's licensed by the state, of Louisiana, Department of Health, Office of Behavioral Health. You need to have, a healthcare accreditation, like, a Joint Commission or CARF, or which are held to the standard. It's not like, there's nothing arbitrary about it. You know what I mean? There are state, regulatory requirements that are in statute. The accreditation organizations have theirs, which they hold you even higher, and you have to follow those, It's reimbursed by insurance. I mean, it's not like, it's a healthcare facility.
How many beds?
How
many beds?
So there's 30, so basically right now there's, let's say there's the building right now, and that was part of the idea here, is that Volunteers of America is like 3 floors.
Right.
Volunteers of America has 1 floor, and they have found some other location actually that they're going to be moving to soon. And then Easter Seals in the other 2. So we're just taking the Volunteers of America space, and it's like 35 rooms altogether. But it's a licensed program that there's staff, there's nursing, there's supervision. It's you know what I mean, if we wouldn't comply, we would be shut down. It's not a something that we can these are healthcare regulations, but it's something that is monitored. There are staff there all the time. People have to be back in there, accounted for. It's I hope I answered your question.
Councilwoman Bowman?
Yeah, it seemed like you was trying to make things good with the residents there. When Mr. Joseph mentioned about just making 1 block as far as the zoning, can't we do a substitute motion so we can just take those out so it can still pass today?
We cannot, apparently.
We can't?
No.
So the way that the UDC gives jurisdiction to the city council, it can either only approve or deny or remand the case back to MPC with further instructions for them to then do their due diligence. But as it sits right now, what's on the agenda is what the council can only act on.
Gotcha.
But I hope at least even that point, it means we were working and to find that out, because honestly, we were completely okay if that was possible, to come to a working arrangement with them.
So my question is, if we remand back to MPC, does that delay impact you guys?
It does.
Mr. Chair.
Councilman Butcher.
So y'all own the old Brentwood, what is it?
No, it was Promise Hospital that you mean? On Irving Place. Yeah.
So you've got that hospital, and then you've also got the old Highland Rehab that's kind of right behind it. This will be similar to those. It'll be a rehab facility that's inpatient. We're not going to have people walking around or anything like that, right?
No,
coming and going.
No, it is an inpatient accounted for. Again, they sleep there. Yeah, they do sleep there.
Okay.
We don't open. I don't know, Highland. I'm not sure what you're referring to. I don't know. That's not us.
Well, it's right. It's right behind. It's kind of right behind it on the other side of Herndon. It's
Right. No, it might be. I'm saying, but that's not us. I don't know.
Right, but you own the one between. You own the one on the other side of that, which is the old Brentwood, which is
Yeah. Oh,
Thomas.
yeah. Old Brentwood. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Right. And that's like a block and a half away. I mean, I think for us, it's like saying in the inpatient unit, in the inpatient hospital there. So it's a long-term acute care, like the 4 other locations. And there's an inpatient psychiatric, which is a lockdown unit, actually. And there's an addiction medicine program for people who need hospital-level detox. I'm saying, healthcare, for us, it's we have the outpatient program where we're providing, for people suffering from mental health issues in the hospital. In that location, there's currently right now an outpatient program. We see it as, again, there's things that are going on in literally around the building, let's call it, on the block and the bus stop and things like that, that the attempt is, to input and invest in building out healthcare there to really help. To us, it was, it seemed that it would be something that would be welcomed, in a sense that there was, even in all the meetings, talked about, like, what is going on actually literally, like, in that area, like, I don't mean, I'm talking about, like, 50 feet away, and this is actually a place that's actually providing treatment, helping people out, helping them, people improve and get better and try to get back on their feet.
Mr. Chairman, if I could speak again.
Yes, sir.
I will say at the neighborhood meeting that a good bit of the issues were problems what's currently going on there now, which I think a lot of these people that are living there, they're not supervised. Is this correct? They come and go as they please?
Yes,
And that would not be the case.
Because Volunteers of America and Easter Seals, which are currently there now, if it wouldn't change then, I mean, Volunteers is moving out, but that's what's there. They do a great work of providing housing for people that otherwise don't have it, but otherwise, there's not really much else in terms of the supervision or the monitoring,
Y'all have security on site for this, like any other medical facility?
Security?
Yes.
Yeah, like Oshner's has security. They have security people. Willis Knighton down the street, that's rehab, has security people. We all have in-house security.
So I will tell you, this is generally, again, and I know in other states that we have these types of things, like this type of facility, they're small facilities, essentially, like, let's say it's 35 rooms. I'm just telling you, like, in the norm, in our hospital facility, that's like on Irving Place, of course, you have security over there. It's like a huge facility. It's not necessarily required. It's something that can be discussed. That, like, I mean, honestly.
Well, I mean, I just was thinking.
No, I hear your point.
If we have a vagrancy problem there, which I think we all can admit we do.
Right.
I see them. In fact, my first question was, how's this going to affect the hobos that live on the bench right in front of the place? Because they're there. My thought was, if you had security, that maybe it might make it a little even more attractive because they could run these people off or whatever needs to happen. That was just my question. I personally would suggest it just because of what's out there. If this is approved, I would like to see that, but I don't know what your regulations are.
Right. Listen, I would just say that from our perspective, like you talk about people sleeping or whatever's going on outside, like I said, there's a lot of office space that's empty there. Like, in a sense, like, from our end, it's about, like, okay, like, they own the property, investing in it. Like, the more that there actually is, like, programs, things going on, like productive things, occupied, staff, like, like the hiring of staff, of nursing, techs, and all, like, office staff that's around there, in a sense, like, it changes I think it changes, like, the dynamic of what's there. I mean, right now, there is a lot that does have to do probably with VOA and Easter Seals also that's there, I would say. And that's the idea.
I think that my concern is I don't want the problem to get worse because of what you're putting in there.
Yeah, because you're going to have those that are going to come into your facility simply because of what it is. And so security is going to be a major thing for you regardless of how small this facility is. You're going to need some level of security there. It happens at every facility. Someone may want to come in and sleep in the chair. It happens. And so it should be something that can be taken under consideration.
I don't disagree with the premise at all. I just don't want the problem to be worse than what it is there.
I will tell you that, and there's an outpatient that's right, North Louisiana Health Treatment Center on the first floor. We actually, for a little while, there was some, it was made known to us about things going on, that the security guard from the hospital actually would go over there, he would make rounds there actually at night. Now, I understand you're talking about something more permanent. I understand that. That might be, might make more sense.
As a landlord of the property, I would definitely want a security guard there. So that's it. Yeah. That's all I've got, Mr. Chairman.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you. My only concern, I just think that postponing it may actually, impact the delays. So that's my only concern, that maybe we should move forward.
My motion is still to postpone. Okay. So I'd like to vote on that first.
Okay. Discussion has ended. Let's move forward with motion to postpone. It has been motioned by Councilman Brooks. Second by Councilman Talaferro. Let's vote.
It passes 5-2 to postpone.
Ms. White?
So moved.
Been moved by Councilman Butcher, second by Councilwoman Bowman. Any discussion? Let's vote.
Mr. Chair.
That passes with 7.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Going back to the last, can I do that real quick? Going
Yes.
back to the last.
Zoning case?
Yeah, the zoning case. We postponed it. Should we have remanded it, Councilman?
No.
I mean, if,
remanding starts the entire process over.
Yeah.
I'm trying to reach a compromise here with the Highland Neighborhood.
okay, it's your district, and I'm support you in whatever you want to do, but I just, if we're going to be at the same spot next time around, maybe us remanding it back and then getting.
And that's a good point. I think we are, and I'm going to defer to the city attorney. Basically, what I'm gathering, we only got 2 options. Even though you postpone it, when it comes back, either we can approve or deny. We're still in the same spot. I don't think we can do any amendments from eye level.
That's correct, except hopefully in the next 2 weeks, Ms. Dom and her people from Highland Neighborhood will be able to meet with the representatives of the hospital. They still have some questions they don't feel like have been answered.
Okay.
So
Okay.
in 2 weeks, if we're where we were, then we'll just have to vote it up or down.
But this process also does not clean up that other 2 properties. We will still be taking them at their word.
They would file that after, we would have to take them at their word.
And I would like to see something in an MPC. I would like to see something in the MPC also requiring some security. I think that could be a condition as well of the zoning. If it's gonna pass anyway, I would rather us have those things in there.
But that means we will have to remand it
Yeah,
back
remand
for,
it back.
for NPC
Yeah.
to make any
Yeah,
changes.
I'm with you.
Which means starting the process all over again.
If I may,
Mr. Chair, before they speak, if you are going to allow them to speak, then we had to suspend the rules because that case has been
So moved to
moved
suspend the
on.
rules.
Second.
It has been motioned by Councilman Butcher and second by Councilwoman Bowman to suspend the rules. Do we need a unanimous vote to suspend the rules? Okay.
So
Vote
why
must
are we
be.
suspending the rules?
For them
We're-
to be able to speak.
we're
Because you've
suspending the
already
rules.
voted on that case. And so if they're coming back to speak on a case that's already been voted on, then
Before we suspend the rule, Councilman Brooks has already stated that he wants to reach a compromise with them and them. So why are we talking back to y'all? I think y'all need to be talking to them versus talking to us, since you all are the ones that need to be on the same page. So I don't see why we need to go back over what we've already talked about. Y'all just need to get with them and please them, get on the same page, and I think that we'll be done with it versus talking back to us.
So there is a motion on the floor. It has been moved and it has been second. Right now, we're in discussion. Does anybody else want to speak in favor of suspending the rules before we vote? Keep in mind, this must be unanimous.
Councilman Brooks, it's your pleasure.
Well, then I'll remove my motion then.
Okay, Councilman Butcher has removed his motion. Since he motioned it, we do not have to vote on it.
Is that right? Just to remove my motion? Okay, I'll remove the motion.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we're good? Ms. White?
Ordinance 98, amending the 2024 budget for the airport's enterprise fund.
So moved.
Second.
I don't even know what we're doing. It has been moved by somebody. It has been moved by Councilman Butcher, has been seconded by Councilwoman Taylor. Any discussion? Let's vote.
That passes with 7.
98. Ordinance 99, amending the 2024 budget for the street special revenue fund.
Second.
Has been moved by Councilman Talaferro, second by Councilman Butcher. Any discussion?
Jim.
Let's vote.
It passes with 7.
Ordinance 100, amending the 2024 budget for the solid waste enterprise fund.
So moved.
Been moved by Councilman Butcher, second by Councilwoman Taylor. Any discussion? Let's vote.
That passes with 7.
Ordinance 101, amending the 2024 budget for the Retained Risk Internal Service Fund.
Been moved by Councilwoman Bowman, second by Councilman Brooks. Any discussion? Let's vote.
Passes with 7.
Ordinance 102, amending the 2024 budget for the Riverfront Development Special Revenue Fund.
Question. So moved.
Been moved by Councilwoman Taylor, second by Councilwoman Bowman. Discussion, Councilwoman Taylor.
Mr. Mayor, how does this affect our nonprofits? Does it have any effect on them at all?
No,
in
ma'am.
this fund? Okay, thank you, sir.
Any more discussion? Let's vote.
That passes with 7.
Ordinance 103 to amend various articles and sections in the City of Shreveport, Louisiana Unified Development Code for the purpose of updating certain uses within the downtown zoning district.
Been motion to postpone by Councilman Brooks, second by Councilwoman Bowman. Any discussion?
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman.
Councilman Brooks?
This is per request of the DDA. They would like to meet with the MPC. I think they had some questions. Is that correct, Danny? So, per their request, that's why.
I have a question in reference to it too, because what are some of the things that they really wanted to change in the downtown area? Was the other question that I had when I saw that.
Okay. Let's vote.
That passes with 7 to postpone.
Ordinance 104 to amend various articles and sections in the City of Shreveport, Louisiana Unified Development Code for the purpose of clarifying and updating provisions for uses related to dwelling units within commercial spaces.
Also, motion to postpone.
It's been moved to postpone by Councilman Brooks, second by the chair. Discussion? Let's vote.
That passes with 7 to postpone.
Ordinance 105, amending the Code of Ordinances of the City of Shreveport to add a Division 13 to Article 5 of Chapter 26 relative to creation and establishment of special revenue funds relative to economic development.
So moved.
Been moved by Councilwoman Taylor, second by Councilwoman Bowman. Any discussion? Let's vote.
That passes with 7.
Ordinance 106, zoning case number 24-92-C, an ordinance to amend the official zoning map of the City of Shreveport Unified Development Code by rezoning property located north side of Forum Drive, approximately 425 feet west of North Hearn Avenue, from C-1 Neighborhood Commercial District to I-1 Light Industrial Zoning District.
So moved. Discussion.
Been moved by Councilwoman Taylor, second by Councilwoman Bowman.
Mr. Clark,
Discussion?
and just for the record again, this wasn't met with any opposition, right? It was just changing it back to its original.
And that's exactly what happened, Councilwoman, that we did that with a lot of properties that were changed as a result of the Unified Development Code. And property owners began to have concerns about losing certain rights that they had. So the MPC board agreed to allow all persons that property was affected by the UDC to come back and have it reclaimed to the rights that were there first.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Let's vote.
That passes with 7.
Madam Clerk, is there any other table legislation to be removed from the table today?
No, sir.
We have no property standards, NPC, ZBA, or ABO appeals considered tomorrow. Madam Clerk, are there any other appeals?
No, sir.
Are there any reports from officers, boards, or committees? I do want us to continue to keep William Daniels in our prayers, and also Mr. Tom Dart. Also, I was remiss, yesterday was a national holiday, and it skipped my brain. Councilman Talaferro's birthday.
Happy. We're going to Morrison's.
What? You want to go to Mars? You want to go to Mars?
Do you want us to sing happy birthday to you? For the record?
Let's just meet at Mars.
Anyway, happy birthday to you, sir.
Happy birthday, Jim.
Happy birthday, Jim.
In 2 weeks.
Are there any other reports,
Yes.
committees?
In 2 weeks, Councilwoman Bowman, we will wear our blue and silver to council for Miss Glover.
So
and Councilman Jackson and Ms. Bogan, Madam Clerk.
Is RJ still here? He's gone. So what we can do, the winner of the game, we will wear their colors at the next council meeting.
You ought to be, you should have enough
We
blue.
will wear the colors at
You
the
should
next
have enough
council
blue.
meeting. All who are in attendance will wear the colors at the next council meeting.
I will do that only simply because my nephew plays for the Saints. Jalen Ford, that is reason only. His number is 53. Okay.
So if the Saints win, we'll wear black and gold on Tuesday. If
Go
the Cowboy
MP.
wins, we'll wear blue on Monday when there's less people here.
Oh, Monday and Tuesday. You wore your clothes 2 days in a row. You wore your clothes 2 days in a row.
If y'all wear black and gold, how y'all gonna distinguish that it's not Pittsburgh?
We will
Or
distinguish.
the 49ers.
I will wear a star on my jacket.
Madam Clerk, is there a clerk's report?
Yes, sir. The following letter of appointments was received from the mayor's office on September 4th and is subject for confirmation September 24th. Jimmy Herring, I think I pronounced her name, Assistant City Attorney. And Shreveport Police Department, they sent you guys a notice for a meeting for September 19th at 11:30 at 1234 Texas Avenue.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Mayor, do you have any additional communications?
I do not.
Does any council member have any additional communications?
Oh, that's right. And not Southwood.
Executive session, there are none. If there's nothing else, this meeting is adjourned.